Americans, it looks like some things have changed. Are we doing a good enough job teaching our children what America is and what she represents?
You want an abortion? Get one!
Younger parents aren't sure that an appreciation of America is the right thing to teach modern children.
We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great.
When I drive into a neighborhood and there are American flags, it's a message of white supremacy.
I'm warning of an eradication of the American memory that could result in an erosion of the American spirit.
We need to completely dismantle the police department.
If we forget what we did, we won't know who we are. We've got to do a better job of getting across that America is free, and freedom is special and rare. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of enterprise. As long as we remember our first principle and believe in ourselves, the future will always be ours. Ours was the first revolution in the history of mankind that truly reversed the course of government, and with three little words: we the people. We the people are free.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Straight Talk with Joe Vollano. I am glad you are here. As you can see, our camera is back up and running. So it took me a little while after the show to figure out what actually happened. And apparently, the camera software needed an upgrade, an update. So I had to update that. and then it finally got back up and running again. So I apologize for last week. That's my bad. But like I said, we are up and running. You guys can see me, and you see my awesome Trump Vans hat. So let's get down to business. First, I have to add this up here. So obviously, running for office, we need to have our little disclaimer up there via SEC regulations. They want us to put it up there. So there it is. And of course, I am, as always, your host, Joe Vollano. I am your host, your guiding light, trying to walk you through all the craziness that's going on. And, you know, a disservice is going on to not only the voters, well, not really to the voters, 100%, but to candidates, and I think to the media itself. And we'll get more into that on why it's such a disgrace. But again, this show always works best when you are involved. So if you want to call in, 203-805-2520 is the call into the studio. Or you can email us straighttalkjv@gmail.com. I always have that up and running. In fact, if we have time today, we'll go through a couple of the messages and emails that have been coming through. If we don't get to them tonight, I promise we'll get to them next week. And I'll answer all the questions that are on there. But again, if you're on any of the social media platforms, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and all those in between, you can always join in on the message board. It is up and running. So let's dive on in here. So I had an interesting conversation with Mary Ellen from the Record Journal. Well, the old Record Journal. I guess it is still the Record Journal, but now they've been taken over by Hertz Media. And we hadn't heard anything from them. And being that it's such an important race, especially with the 83rd. The 83rd is one of the three most hotly contested races in the state. Most people would never know that. But this seat, it came to a difference of like 107 votes 2 years ago. So this, I mean, with the way they redistrict, this seat is very important. And you would never have known it if you're just following what the Record Journal is doing, or the Cheshire Herald, or the Berlin papers, because they all used to be owned by the Record Journal here in Meriden. And now they are no longer. So now Hertz Media has come in, which is, you know, a huge company that just buys up smaller newspapers and pretty much does nothing else. They don't care about the local stuff anymore. Because I hadn't heard anything yet about debates. And listen, I'm a huge fan of debates because I believe that candidates should be out there in front of the people answering their questions. 110%. You know, I teased this show with, are we living up to our founding fathers' expectations when it came to how they believed our election process should go? And I believe we are coming nowhere close to that anymore. On every front. On every front. Whether it's the candidates, whether it's the media, or whether it's the voter themselves. I do not believe that we are doing our part to make sure that we are informed, that you're informed. And do we have a call already? Let me see. Hold on one second. We'll see. So again, is the media doing their part? Are candidates doing their part? Now, as far as a candidate, I believe my duty as a candidate is to be out there in front of the people as much as humanly possible. I believe that is my job. I want to make sure that I am getting my message out. I want to make sure I get my message out to as many people as possible. That, I believe, is what my job is. Whether it's via, door knocking, whether it's via sign waving, whether it's social media, whether or not it's this platform here with podcasting, which I think is the wave of the future. I think this is how every candidate should get in front of their constituents. And I'm telling you now, even after this election is over and after we win, this show will still continue. Because I think it'd be even more important to let everybody know what's going on. Because you need to be informed. An informed voting base is a powerful one. Are we having technical difficulties? I don't think so. I think, Linda, it may just be your system today. It is not ours. We are up and running. Try to go into the YouTube. In fact, I'm going to do this I'm going to do one thing better for you, Linda, just because I'm such a nice guy, as always. And there you go. You are welcome. So, I believe I am doing the best I can to make sure that we get the message out via this platform, because the media is not doing their job. And I said this when, this was one of the dangers of selling local newspapers to a bigger company, because you lose that local connection. We used to have debates every single year where you could sit there and hear from both candidates side by side and decide for yourself who you believe would better represent you. We're not going to get that this year, at least via the Record Journal. The Record Journal is not. They have come out and said they are not doing debates this year, which I think is a travesty. When you bought a local paper, you knew what you were buying. You knew what you were buying into. And to not give your viewers and your subscribers the ability to be informed, I think you're doing a grave disservice to them. And I hope you strongly reconsider not having debates. So this started when I contacted Mary Ellen. I contacted Mary Ellen because there was no debates on the schedule, and I haven't heard anything. We usually would have heard something by now. And she had absolutely no idea either. So she had to reach out to the higher-ups who said there would be no debates. So, what we are trying to do, as we are always trying to do on this show, again, we've always had Democrats on this show. I have absolutely, I have zero issues with having Democrats on this show. In fact, many of them have sat right here beside me, and we've done 2-hour shows, like me and Joe Scaramuzzo did, because it's important. And this show, even though I am running for office, has always been a show to inform the public. That is the purpose of this show, is to make you a more informed voter, make sure you're an informed citizen into what's going on within your local governments, the good and the bad. So I am going to give an invitation right now to Jack Vizino to come join us either in studio or we could do a neutral territory, and I will bring in a guest host who will moderate a debate between the two of us. I'll bring in a nonpartisan, someone who has no skin in the game. It'll be someone that Jack and I both agree on, and we'll bring them in, and I'll let them host a Straight Talk with Joe Vollano, and we will do a town hall. I think it is fair. I think it's necessary to make sure that all the voters have an opportunity to ask questions of their candidates. It is imperative for a functioning democracy to be able to question their leaders and their potential leaders. So, Jack, the invitation has been offered here. We could do it here. We could do it, again, we could do it at the public library, and we could have a guest audience. We'll have a third-party moderator, and we will have our own debate. We will take it upon ourselves to give the voters an opportunity to ask us questions directly. I am beyond shocked, Sean, that the paper is not doing this. My real question is, are they going to do anything for this election process? Because I went and took a look. They still do have an op-ed page. Are we going to see them doing endorsements without talking to anybody? I think Hertz Media is a disgrace. I think they are doing a disservice to every citizen of Cheshire, Berlin, and Meriden. But we do, with modern technology, as we can do today, we can take it upon ourselves to do their job. And I'm hoping Jack is up for it. Again, and I've treated every Democrat that's come onto this show with the utmost respect. And that will obviously be the same moving forward. But like I said, I won't even be moderating it. We'll bring in a third-party host. For the first time, we'll have a guest host running the show. So I'll send Jack a formal email also with the invitation, and I'll let you guys know what he says. We'll find out next week. We'll find out what it is, because I want to do this before early voting starts. I think it's imperative to do it before early voting starts, which is the 21st. Yeah, we could do that. Just holding a town hall and open it up to questions via web and absolutely. We could definitely do that. I have absolutely no problem doing that. But again, I would love to have Jack joining in the process, because again, he is the current state rep, and he should be willing to be, I guess, forthcoming in defending his record. I'm perfectly fine with defending anything I've ever said. Will there be fact checkers at this debate? Yes, it'll be each and every one of you who will be sitting there on your computers. I'm definitely open to the library. I think the library would be the best, what makes most sense. And I think, again, streaming it live and having a third, like I said, a third party moderator, and then obviously having somebody else running the computer system and making sure we get all the questions in. Again, I think it's something we can definitely do with the technology of today. And since the media doesn't want to do it, we have to take it upon ourselves. And if, again, and I love transparency. So I am 100% transparent. I will answer any question you have. Yeah, what it flex. So again, so Jack, the ball's in your court. Like I said, I'll send you an email, and then when he responds back, I'll make sure I share it with all you guys. But and then the final part of it, and we talk about what the candidates and what the media is supposed to be doing. But the big question is, again, and Sean, you just mentioned it, great to leave the questions to the residents, which again, I'm all for the town hall format, because I think, again, hearing from the residents is the most important thing, because the most important thing the residents have, obviously, is their vote. And I don't want to say it's sad that most voters have no idea what they're voting for. Again, the voters, and again, so we're going to have this true town hall format, which again, I'm all for. But will the people show up for it? Now, again, we're going to be able to do this live, and we'll be able to do it online. So everybody should be able to join in on the conversation. And I'm not willing to have a time limit. I'll answer everybody's questions for all I care. I'll sit there until, if we start at 7, I'll sit up there till 10 o'clock if I have to. If the people are still being engaged and want to know more, I have no problem not setting a time limit on it. I want everybody's questions and everyone's voice to be heard. So this, again, and we could do this even without Jack. If Jack decides that he doesn't want to do this for whatever reason, I believe we should still do this. Because I think it is extremely important. I think it's extremely important for people to realize that their state rep doesn't want to be involved in answering their questions. But again, the people have to show up. Because a candidate can sit there and talk their ear off. I don't want to be. I don't mind standing there and talking to myself, hopes that people will watch it later on. But we need the people to show up. And I agree, Sean, all candidates should join in. So I would say this. If anyone here watching, anyone who's going to be watching later on, I know most people watch this tomorrow morning, especially those in City Hall, everyone should reach out to Jack and push for this debate. Yeah, well, Ed is trying to made somewhat of a good point. Voting seems to be a popularity. I don't know about that all that much. I think right now people are voting with their pocketbooks. I really do. I think people are really, really frustrated this year, to say the least. Whether we're talking about inflation, whether or not we're talking about electricity bills, whether we're talking about, grocery bills, people are nervous. I don't think a popularity contest is going to win this year. And I think, again, the 5th district is in play. I know people say that Hayes is starting to pull away. I don't think so. I think George Logan has a great shot at winning the congressional seat. So, listen, we could put it out there to everybody, Sean. I have no problem with it being, if you want to do a Senate one too. If that's something that they want to do, we could definitely set that up for the same night. But I was speaking specifically to Jack and the 83rd race, because obviously that's the one I'm on. But if we want to do this for all the races, listen, I'm game. I'm always game. I'm always for, getting everybody's a message out there. So if Elaine and Jen would want to come in on it, absolutely, I'm all for it. So again, we'll send the invitation out. So I think it'd be terrific. So, but it's just something that it's sad that we need to do, but at the end of the day, it needs to be done. But to get back to what I was saying, I definitely think the 5th congressional district is in play. George, I think, needs to just retune his message. And what I mean by that is, George, don't be afraid to be a Republican. That's all I can say on that race. When he was acting more Republican, he was getting more support. I think he needs to stop playing that commercial with him in a box with a typical Republican. I think he needs to stop playing that ad. I don't think it's working for him. I don't think it's beneficial for him. I think it really turns a lot of Republicans off, which again, you're never going to win a race if your base is not there to support you. Bob Stefanowski tried that route, and look how that turned out for him. So I think George's campaign really does need to just kind of refocus on going after her record and not so much about being labeled as this or that. Because Hayes has so much that you could run on. And I think George has the issues on his side. He has the momentum on his side. Whether or not he takes advantage of that, again, is up to him. And I hope, he decides to turn it in a different way. His campaign in a different way. So, but while we're on George Logan is doing a Super Saturday. Let me pull it up. On Saturday, October 5th, starting at 10 a.m. down at Hanover School. So if you want a door knock for George Logan, you want to do a lit drop for George Logan, he and I will be door knocking south of Meriden on the 5th. So if you want to join us, by all means, come on down and join us. It'll be a great time. She's going to finish this. He should listen, they should have finished that a long time ago. If they wanted to fix things, they could have fixed things a long time ago. But not to get too off track of where we were, because now that we're talking about George Logan, again, Now it's on the voters. The voters now understand that the media is not going to do their job anymore. That when it comes to local politics, i.e., state and local, again, I can only imagine what's going to happen next year for local elections. I mean, is Straight Talk now going to be the debate central? Is it now on Straight Talk's responsibility now to set up debates? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll do it. I'll definitely do it. But had it really come to us and alternative media to now take over where mainstream media's job used to be? Maybe we do live in a whole new world now. And maybe that is going to be our responsibility. But it's still up to each and every one of you out there to reach out. Hey, listen, Rush is my boy. I moved it. I'm running out of wall space here behind me. I had my Rush Limbaugh. I have my Rush teddy bear here. So my Rush teddy bear. Listen, I love Rush Limbaugh. It really is. When it comes to the conservative movement, he was such a major figure for us, who really knew how to put things in perspective, and was able to project that out to the public in a way that made sense. And I miss him more every day. Like that, you may. Listen, I have some new ones this year. So I always get new ones. People, whether people send them to me or I see them at different things. Like that one was sent to me. The 1776 one was sent to me. These two I just got. You can't see it really. I guess this is the fire department one, and then the state police one, which this one's pretty awesome. I love this one. Is the thin blue line with the state police symbol on it, which is pretty cool. And of course, again, I mean, my favorite has to be that 1776, even though I do have another one upstairs. I don't have anywhere to put it. I have a 1776 one I just got maybe like a month and a half ago. Where the stars are, there's actually a round in each one, which I thought was pretty cool. Listen, Dave, Dr. Pepper Power Hour. I mean, granted, when I come up here, it's Powerade because, my throat gets dry pretty quick and I can't do the Dr. Pepper. Nobody wants to hear me burping away. So I drink a lot of my Powerade. So, but, I digress. So yes, it is going to be up to us again. So everyone needs to reach out to Jack Mazzino and make sure this happens. Listen, I'll call it Powerade Power Hour if they're going to sponsor the program, of course, God, I am a Republican. I am a capitalist. So, but now it turns to us. So I want to talk about, we're going to launch a new video tonight. I know one of you saw it already. Linda already saw it because Linda I happened to be with Linda when the video dropped to me. So Linda got to already see it. But I'll let you guys have a first glimpse before it hits, it will hit TV tomorrow. It will hit social media tomorrow. It will hit my social media pages tonight after the show's over. But here is a 1-minute commercial we just launched today. So I'll let you guys play it. I'll play it, let you guys listen to it, and then I'll talk about the video. Because I think these guys, we're pretty much going to be dropping one every week. And it really, I like it. It's a nice intro piece. So I'll let you guys listen to it. So here we go. I'm a small business owner here in Meriden, Connecticut. I have two boys, 18 and 8. I've lived in this district for the last 18 years. I love it here. I come out every day to fight for you. And when I get to Hartford, I'm looking to hold them accountable. Our police officers and first responders, they risk their lives every single day. But we have the police accountability bill that has literally stripped them of all the protections they have to go out there and to actually do their jobs effectively. We need to give the police officers all the tools they need to make sure they can get their job done safely. We need to rein in the out-of-control electricity prices. Greatly concerned about our education system. We need to get parents involved. We need to empower them to be part of the conversation when it goes to their children's education. As a father, as a business owner, as an invested stakeholder in this city, I care deeply about the people of our district. I want to make sure this is the best place for us to live, work, and raise our family. I'm Joe Vollano, and I approve this message. So that video will drop tomorrow on, again, local TV. That will drop on all of our social media platforms. So you should see a lot of it. But again, that video is meant to be obviously an intro piece. It kind of goes side by side with everyone. Most of you should have gotten already a flyer of mine when our first mailer went out. So you should have gotten that in the mail if you are in the district. And again, it is a welcome piece. It is an intro piece of who I am. And of course, if you want to, for anybody, if you want a sign in your yard, by all means, just hit me up on the message board here and we will get you one. You're probably better off private messaging me. So, I don't want to give people's addresses out. But the commercial really does hit the three pillars that I've been talking about, that I talk about all the time. One is obviously accountability. I am huge on accountability. And again, I expect each and every one of you to turn around and hold me accountable when I get up there. And again, I'm going to hold myself accountable by being here every week, explaining why I voted the way I did on certain things. Really, on anything you want to know about. Two is our police department. They cannot effectively police our cities under these conditions. We're seeing police recruitment way down. You're seeing almost every single police department is below staff levels. That makes it very dangerous. And it also lets those who wish to do harm or mischief, that there will be no consequences to it, because even if you do get caught by one of the few officers we have on the road, you get a slap on the wrist and then you get back on the streets. So we're gonna get in more depth next week on my plans for what I'm going to do with the police accountability bill, what I want to do about electrical rates. Because obviously we talked about electrical rates last week. And it is going to be a huge issue moving forward. Connecticut has the second highest electricity rates in the country. And it's not necessary if we could just control spending. It's not, like I said last week, it's not Eversource's fault. Democrats just want you to blame Eversource. But really, it's their mandates that are causing electricity rates to go higher. So we'll maybe break that down a little bit more in the coming weeks. But next week, we're going to talk about public safety, and we're going to talk about education. Because we have some serious issues in our education system, and there are ways to help the students. And it's going to be up to the parents. Again, we talk about the voters and, them being involved and engaged in what's going on. I think it's even more important when it comes to your children's education that you're engaged. I mean, if you're not communicating with your kids' teachers via Power School, email, whatever it is, you're doing a disservice to your child, in my opinion. We have to stay engaged. We need more parents engaged. We need to strengthen our PTOs. We need to strengthen our education system. We need to get more teachers in. We need to trim the fat on the administration. Meriden is very heavy at the top. And it's amazing that every time it comes to budget time, Meriden will be like, oh, we need to lay off these many teachers. You never hear them say, hey, we need to lay off some administration, some admin people. So we have a lot of work to do. And it's up to each and every one of us. Myself as a candidate, this is why I'm here. If you have questions, ask them. I'll be more than happy to answer them. We have a ton of emails that we need to get through next week. And next week, like I said, it's going to be really three things. We're going to deep dive into the police accountability bill, and we're going to discuss about the things that we need to take out of it or we need to adjust. We're going to talk about education and school choice, and we're going to take emails. We're going to answer your questions on the emails because some of them are pretty good. Actually, some of them are really good questions that I look forward to diving into. We're gonna hold off on the whole Berlin land issue until the following week because that is gonna get really dicey when it comes to. For those of you who don't know, there is a dispute. Well, there is a land dispute where a resident is encroaching on state property, and Jack, without doing any research, apparently, decided that it was a good idea to put forth a resolution up at the Capitol to sell this resident 4 acres of land for $35,000. He thought that was a good idea without any research on it, apparently. Because as soon as the state turned around and said, absolutely not, the state DP said, absolutely not, when the local conservatories found out about it, everybody had a fit. And Jack immediately had to turn around and say, no, I didn't know, I got bad information. No, you just didn't research the information given to you, which tells me that you're apparently, if someone gives you a donation or does you favors, I guess that, you're not going to have to do any research. Just tell him what you want him to do and he's going to go do it. So is he really working for you? Or do special interests have his ear? It's a great question. I would love to find out. And that's if he decides to do this debate. Then the people of Berlin will have the opportunity to ask him that question. Why would you think it was a good idea to put forth a resolution without knowing the facts? Is this how he does business? Or the people's business? He should answer that question. He should be forced to answer that question. And hopefully he will have to. Again. So my email, let me just put it in here. Even though I'm going to put it into the thing, and then I'm also going to put it on the screen. Here we go. Boop. So, Straight Talk JV. I'm missing it here. So you guys can, obviously you guys can send anything you want through there. You can send, if you want a sign, you can email straighttalkjv@gmail.com. If you have questions that you want to ask, you can send it through there. Again, open book here. You could ask any question you want. I can't promise you'll like the answer to it. So, but that's a given. I think you all know that by now when it comes to myself. I don't have any problem answering the question, but it may not be the answer that you're looking for. And I don't change my tune to depending on the audience in front of me. So it is what it is. So again, we all have our part in this election coming up. I'm doing my best to do my part to be here for you, in front of you, to answer any questions that you may have. I'm hoping my opponent will do the same. And I'm hoping you guys will all email him and have your friends email him to make sure he does the same. And we need to do this before the 21st. So my thinking is either doing it sometime during the 21st is a Monday. So I'm thinking the week of the 13th through the 19th. October 13th, which is a Sunday, to the 19th, which is a, actually, I'm rephrase that. It would have to be the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, or 19th. Because unfortunately, I'm on a business trip from the 10th to the 14th. So there will be no show on the 13th because I will be out of town unless I could do it from my hotel down in Nashville. That may be a thing. I may do a brief broadcast from Nashville, Tennessee on the 13th, but we'll see if the internet can support the system. So the 15th through the 20th, we have really those 6 days, if not earlier, to get this together. I think it's going to take some time to put together. So I'm thinking that either the 16th or 17th, I think would be the best days, Wednesday or Thursday. And we do it at the library, start at 7:00. Therefore, everybody's already home. Everyone can settle in, or everyone could get down to the library. Because I think if we could pack the library, that'd be even better. I'd rather have people there. I mean, me personally, I like to look people in the eye when I ask questions and I get their answer. So we'll see how it goes. So everyone, let's do our part. We all know what our part is, to be informed and to try to get answers out of our elected officials. So let's all do our part and outreach to Jack. Let's get him on the show again. And then someone's got to give me suggestions who you think would be a good moderator. Who do you think would be a good moderator? Who's a third party, maybe outside the district, who could host, who will actually sit there and do a good job? So that's the other question we're going to have, is who's going to moderate it? So hopefully you guys have some ideas on that. So, all right, guys. So until next week, let's stay active. We got a lot of door knocking coming up. Again, next Saturday. If you have a moderator, Ed, send it over. Let's see who it is. We're going to turn around and we have a Super Saturday door knocking with George Logan on Saturday. Reverend. Sean, behave yourself, sir. Super Saturday, 10 a.m. on Saturday, Hanover School. We are going to be doing door knocking alongside George and Logan. Obviously, I'll be door knocking Cheshire this week. So I have to finish up Cheshire. I look forward to meeting everybody in Cheshire. That is a new district. I've never really door knocked before, so I'm really loving the response we're getting from the few that we've done in Cheshire. But we are going to finish up Cheshire this week, and then we are coming to Berlin. And most of those in Berlin know who I am. Not my first rodeo with them, but Cheshire definitely we're spending some time in getting to know everybody. So, and again, Cheshire RTC has done a fabulous job giving us support over there, and I look forward to working with them this week. That is a great idea. I love him. And you know what? I think we might have a moderator. I think we might have one. Joe, awesome idea. I love it. Let's see if we can make that happen. So we'll do our best. But guys, so next week, we're talking public safety. We're talking police accountability bill. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about school choice. And yes, I promise, I will put in, again, one of the biggest things, especially in Cheshire that I'm hearing, is this whole boys and girls bathrooms. It's everywhere I hear. Yeah, it is a secret. It's a secret until I can't give you everything, Linda. Hopefully we can secure this, and hopefully I'll be able to broadcast it next week on who the moderator is. But women and boys and girls bathrooms is a huge issue in Cheshire, and I think it's a huge issue everywhere. No one's willing to talk about it. You know, we talk about those third rail issues here. You know, we talk about those things because you have to be willing to have those conversations if you're looking to move forward. We've had those discussions on race here. We've had the discussions on abortion here. We'll have these discussions about boys and girls bathrooms here, and boys and girls sports. We're going to have that conversation because it's extremely important to have it. And again, we can do it in a respectful way, and we can agree to disagree at the end of the day. But it's a huge issue in Cheshire, and I'm actually quite surprised by it. But, people are concerned. So, but we're going to talk about all that stuff next week. So until then, guys, I love you all. And I love being here. I love sitting here, conversing with you guys, and answering questions. I think that is the primary job of any candidate and anyone who really likes transparency in government. So, guys, until next week, I love each and every one of you. Take care of yourselves, each other, and be nice to each other. I know it's a heated time of year. Politics can get ugly sometimes. Get above that. Remember, at the end of the day, we're all still neighbors. We're all still fellow citizens trying to do the best we can in life. Politics is not something that should tear us apart. If someone's getting mad at you, say, hey, listen, I respectfully disagree with you, but I respect your opinion. And move on. As we move on to next week. Guys, I love each and every one of you guys. Until next week, God bless you. God bless this great state of ours. And of course, as always, God bless America. Guys, until next week, I will see you later.
determination, and a million faces formed together, made for elevation. I'm a soldier, won't surrender faith. This like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice